Is there a limit?
No.
Okay. Number 3, a blank includes active verbs that describe the specific behavior a person exhibits. Behavioral definition. Number 4, when two people independently observe the same behavior and both record whether the behavior occurred, this is called inter-observer reliability. Yes. Number 5, the blank is a specific period in which the observer records the target behavior. Observational period. Number 6, Jason recorded the number of times he used a specific curse word each day. What dimension of behavior was he recording? Frequency. Yes. 7, Kevin recorded how many minutes he ran each day. What dimension of behavior? Duration, right? How long he ran. That would be duration. Number 8, the supervisor of a radar technician recorded how long it took for the technician to identify a plane after it appeared on the radar screen. What dimension of behavior is the latency? Yes. Number 9, in interval recording, the occurrence of the behavior is stored in consecutive or non-consecutive intervals of time. Consecutive intervals of time. In time sampling, the occurrence of the behavior is stored in non-consecutive. Because remember, it could be in the beginning, in the middle, towards the end. 10. Blank is when the process of recording a behavior causes the behavior to change. Reactivity. Blank assessment involves recording the target behavior as it occurs. Direct. Yes. And indirect assessment involves the use of interviews or questionnaires to gather information. Anybody remember one of the rating scales that I used? The FAST. Yep. Okay, we're matching. The first one, the number of times the behavior occurs in the observation period. The time from some stimulus or event to the onset of the behavior. Latency. And the time of the behavior from onset to onset. Duration. Yeah. 4, recording the behavior in brief observation intervals, each separated by longer periods, is called what? Time sample. Yeah, time sample. 5, recording the behavior in consecutive intervals of time is called interval. Number 6, when Mark started recording his nail biting started to decrease as a result of the recording, and this is called what? Reactivity. Number 7, recording the exact time of each onset and offset of the target behavior is called real-time recording, but we didn't go over that. Don't worry about that. Yeah. We didn't go over that. Don't worry about that. Number 8? Yes. Berlin's watch beeps every 10 minutes, and he recorded whether his son was playing appropriately at the time the watch beeps. This is an example of time sampling, right? Whether it occurred or didn't occur at that time of the interval, right? Number 9, Clayton's watch beeped every 10 minutes, and he recorded whether he had picked his nose at any time during the 10 minutes since the last beep. This is an example of interval recording. Yes. Number 10, Linda recorded the number of math problems her students completed in a 20-minute period. This is an example of products. Yes. The product placement, permanent products recording. Remember, this is where the number of math problems her students completed in a 20-minute period. So we're basing our data on the math problems, right? However many they responded to. So how how many they got correct, how many they got wrong. That's what we're taking data on. It wasn't, how long it took them to complete the math problems or how many times they completed it, but the actual problems, the homework itself, that's what we're taking data on. Yeah, so that was the permanent product. Okay. Do you remember that one? Okay, yeah. Okay, number 1. Janice recorded the number of times that she checked her email each day. This is an example of what type of recording? I think someone said it. Frequency. Yeah, she's taking frequency data. Yeah, the number of times she checked her email every day. She was just checking it off, right? Number 2, Janice recorded the number of minutes she spent reading her email each day. Duration. 3, a respiratory therapist used an instrument to measure the force of a patient's exhale. What type of intensity, right? The intensity of the breathing that was being recorded. 4, Mr. Sims recorded how long it took his swimmers to dive in once the starting gun sounded. This is an example of latency. 5, once every 15 minutes, Ms. Snorkel observed her students and recorded whether anyone was talking at that moment. This is an example of yes, time tablet. Yes. Number 6, Chester was conducting a study on motor tics in children with Tourette syndrome. He recorded whether a child engaged in a motor tic in each consecutive 10-second period throughout the observation period. This is an example of interval recording. 7, Maria used a machine to count the number of apples her workers picked each day from the orchard. This is an example of product. How many did they gather in that, however long it was for that day, right? How many were they able to pick from the tree? Okay, so yeah, permanent product. Number 8, what will likely happen to a target behavior once you start recording the behavior? Reactivity, yep. Meaning what? Will it increase or decrease? Decrease. It will likely decrease. Number 9, Lacey observed parent-child interaction in a research project and recorded the exact time of onset and offset of specific parent and child behaviors. This is an example of real-time recording, which we didn't go over. Number 10, which type of assessment is usually more accurate, direct or indirect? Direct.
We don't have to worry about the real time.
Don't worry about real-time recording, yeah, because we didn't go over that. So, yeah, that's something too. If we didn't go over it in class, and it's not in the PowerPoint, but it's in the book, you don't have to worry about it. Yes?
Well, 1 through 4 also falls under
1 through 4, yes. It's a type of continuous recording, but it's, no. Because continuous recording is just kind of like the general, but then specifically, we can measure different dimensions. Okay? All right. So let's move on then to chapter 3. Everybody good with chapter 2? Chapter 3, question 1. A blank is a visual representation of the occurrence of behavior over time. A graph. Yes. In a graph, which axis shows the level of behavior? The y. And which one shows the unit of time? The x. In an A-B design, A is what? Baseline and B is treatment. An A-B design does not demonstrate a functional relationship between the treatment and behavior because what?
It only shows change, not the cause.
Right. It doesn't show a functional relationship, just that they were teaching. Okay. Number 6, in a research project, you conduct a baseline period for a week. After the baseline, you implement treatment for a week. After the treatment phase, you return to baseline phase. And after a week, in the second baseline, you conduct one more week of treatment. Which research design is illustrated? The ABAB reversal design. Number 7, in a multiple baseline across blank research design, one treatment is implemented for the same behavior of one subject in 2 or more different settings. Across settings, yeah. And number 8, in a blank research design, there's a baseline phase and a treatment phase. And in the treatment phase, there are different criterion levels for the behavior. The other way around. Changing criterion design. Yep. Number 9. So just so we know what they look like. So remember that this is the AB reversal design because we have our baseline, right? Then we have our treatment. Then we have our baseline, and then we have our treatment. So to be able to turn the behavior on and off, that's showing a functional relationship. That's an example of an ABAB reversal design kit.
When it's on the treatment, should it always be increasing, or does it depend on whether it's an excess or a deficit?
It depends on the behavior. Yeah. So if it was a behavior that we wanted to, well, in this case, it was a behavior we wanted to decrease. If it was a behavior we wanted to increase, then in the baseline it would be occurring at a low frequency. During treatment, it should be increased. Yeah. But remember, with that too, ethically, we have, if it was self-injurious behavior, we wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want to turn that on and off. And then for the changing criterion design, remember it's something like this. So here's your baseline. Then each treatment phase has different criterion levels. So this was an example of the caffeine intake. Okay, so for phase 1, this person was only allowed to intake 900 milligrams of caffeine. Once consecutively, she was able to average out 900 a day, then they decreased that criterion to another level, which was, I think, like 800. And then once she was stable, then you go down and go down. Remember?
So it's only until they're stable.
Right. If she's got a couple where she's above the 900, you're going to stay at 900 until she can consecutively complete that criterion. You don't want to move her down if she's not even completing the 900. Okay. All right. Number 9. In a multiple baseline across blank research design, one treatment is implemented for the same target behavior of 2 or more subjects. Across subjects, right? And then number 10, in a multiple baseline across behaviors research design, one treatment is implemented for 2 or more behaviors of the same subjects. Across behaviors, yeah. Number 4, when a researcher shows that a behavior modification procedure causes a target behavior to change, the researcher is demonstrating what? Functional relationship between the procedure and the target behavior. Yeah. Number 5, a research design in which a baseline phase is followed by a treatment phase, and then both baseline and treatment phases are repeated is called what? ABAB reversal design. Number 7, in a blank research design, baseline and treatment conditions are conducted in rapid succession and compared with each other. Fascinating treatment design. And that one looks like this. So you just start off, you have the 2 treatment phases, and let's say one day violent cartoons are shown, and the next day no violent cartoons, and then back and forth, right, every other day. Which design is not a true research design because there's no replication? The AB design. Alright. Quiz 3. A graph is a visual representation of the occurrence of what?
General.
Oh, yeah, general.
Not general. Of what? Behavior over time. Yeah. Behavior over time.
Oh,
Behavior over time. Yep. You are recording the number of cans of sodas you drink each day. On your graph, the x-axis is labeled what? Days. And the y? Frequency of sodas, right? Or number of sodas. Yeah. Number 3. After recording the number of cans of soda you drink each day, for 2 weeks, you implement a treatment for 2 weeks to decrease the number of cans you drink each day. Which design does it sound like?
Changing criteria.
It just says after recording the number of cans you drink each day for 2 weeks, you implement a treatment for 2 weeks to decrease the number of cans you drink each day. I think it. Let me just double check.
decrease, wouldn't it be changing treatment?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Criterion graph? AB?
AB.
Oh, AB.
Because it doesn't say anything about, in every 2 weeks you're going to be decreasing by so many cans per day. It just says that you take your baseline and then you're going to start treatment for 2 weeks. That's all. So remember with AB, it's baseline and then treatment. So that's all it says here. If it were to say something where, right, every 2 weeks you decrease by 5 cans a day, then that would be changing criterion design. But it just says you're implementing treatment for 2 weeks, and that's it. So yeah, that would be the AB design. Does everybody see that? Yep. Number 4, a behavior modification researcher uses a research design to demonstrate blank between a treatment procedure and a target behavior. Functional relationship, yeah. Let's look at number 7. If it would be unsafe to remove treatment once it produces a change in behavior, then you should not use the AB design. Number 8, you are recording a child's behavior of saying please and thank you. After a week of baseline, you use reinforcement to increase the behavior of saying please. After 2 weeks of baseline, you then use reinforcement to increase the behavior of saying thank you. What research design is being implemented? Multiple baseline of what? Across behaviors. Yes. Number 9. Again, you're recording a child's behavior saying please and thank you in a daycare and at home. So after a week of baseline, you use reinforcement to increase behavior of saying please and thank you at the daycare. Then after 2 weeks of baseline, you then use reinforcement to increase behavior of saying please and thank you at home. Yes, multiple baseline across settings. And then the last one, again, trying to increase the behavior of saying please and thank you for 3 different children at school. What research design would you be using? Across subjects. Yes. So you're working on the same behavior, but it's just across 3 different. Everybody's ready? Yes.
On the quiz 2, topic 3, what is
Number 6, minimum provision for subject implemented at different point in time for the subject to say that treatment is staggered over time. Remember that's the